Wait, did you just hear this? The head of Social Security might be stepping in to manage parts of the IRS, and people are asking, does this mean changes to your tax refunds? Your Social Security payments? Maybe even how fast you get your money? Yeah, this one's big. Let's break it down. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Steve from Retirees Benefits, and I help everyday Americans understand what's actually happening with their money. Social Security, taxes, benefits, all of it. No fluff, no clickbait. Just the facts you need to make smart decisions. So let's dive in. All right, so here's what's going around. There are reports circulating that the Social Security Administration, yes, the people who handle your retirement and disability checks, could be taking on new responsibilities related to IRS operations. Specifically, there's talk about payment processing, refund timelines, and maybe even how certain benefits get coordinated with your taxes. Now, this isn't some random rumor. We're seeing headlines like asterisk, Social Security chief appointed to oversee IRS payment systems, and will your tax refund come faster in 2025? And honestly, people are confused. Some are excited. Others are worried. Because anytime two massive government agencies start crossing paths, you know there's going to be some kind of impact on your wallet. So what's really happening here? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for the millions of Americans who depend on these agencies every single day? That's what we're going to unpack today. But before we go further, I want to hear from you. Do you think combining Social Security and IRS operations is a good idea? Or does it sound like a recipe for even more delays and confusion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Seriously, your input matters. Okay, let's break this down step by step. Because I know this sounds complicated, but once you understand what's actually happening, it makes a lot more sense. Right now, the Social Security Administration and the IRS are two separate agencies. The SSA handles your retirement benefits, disability, survivor benefits, all that. The IRS handles your taxes, refunds, and any credits or payments tied to your income. They do communicate with each other, but they operate independently. Different computer systems, different leadership, different customer service departments, different everything. So what's changing? From what we're seeing, there's a push to streamline payment systems across both agencies. The idea is that by putting someone from the Social Security side in charge of certain IRS payment functions, the government can speed things up. Think about it. Right now, if you're waiting on a tax refund and times a Social Security adjustment, you're dealing with two different timelines, two different systems, two different customer service lines. It's a mess. The goal here seems to be coordination. If one person or one team oversees how both agencies process payments, theoretically, things should move faster. Your refund could hit your account quicker. Your Social Security payment adjustments could sync up with your tax filings. And maybe, just maybe, you won't have to call two different 1-800 numbers and wait on hold for 3 hours each time. We've all been there. Now, here's what that means for you specifically. If you're on Social Security and you file taxes every year, this could mean smoother processing. If you get SSI or SSDI, and you're also eligible for tax credits like the Earned Income Credit, those could be coordinated better. And if you're still working while collecting benefits, any changes to your income could be reflected faster in both systems. That's huge for people who are trying to plan their finances and need accurate, timely information. There's also talk about reducing duplicate paperwork. Right now, you might have to send the same documents to both agencies. Under this new system, one submission could potentially satisfy both. That would save time, reduce errors, and make life easier for everyone involved. That's the upside. And on paper, it sounds pretty good, right? But hold on. Not everyone's celebrating. Some experts are raising concerns. They're saying, look, both of these agencies are already overwhelmed. The IRS is backlogged. Social Security has a staffing crisis. So how is combining responsibilities going to help? And that's a fair question. Because if this rollout isn't done right, you could end up with more delays, not fewer. Imagine if the systems don't sync properly, or if employees aren't trained on both sides, Or if there's a glitch and suddenly your Social Security payment is tied up because of a tax issue, or vice versa. We've seen government technology projects go wrong before. Healthcare.gov, anyone? So people are understandably nervous. There's also the privacy angle. Some people are uncomfortable with one agency having too much access to both your tax records and your benefit history. They're asking, is this about efficiency, or is it about more government oversight? Is this going to make it easier for the government to find discrepancies and audit people? Those are legitimate concerns. And then there's the question of accountability. Right now, if something goes wrong with your Social Security, you know who to call. If something goes wrong with your taxes, you call the IRS. But if the lines get blurred, who do you contact? Who's responsible? That lack of clarity could actually make things harder for regular people trying to get help. So yeah, there are two sides here. One side says this is long overdue and could finally bring some relief to millions of Americans who are tired of dealing with bureaucratic nightmares. The other side says slow down, let's make sure this doesn't backfire and create even bigger problems. Now, if you want to stay updated on all of this, because trust me, this story is still unfolding, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm going to be covering every development as it happens, every twist, every policy change, every update that affects your money. And if you want even faster updates sent straight to your phone or email, check the link in the description to join my free update list. I send out alerts whenever there's breaking news that affects your money. No spam, just the information you need. All right, let's keep going. Now, here's something else you need to know. This whole conversation ties into a bigger issue, and that's the future of Social Security funding itself. We've talked about this before on the channel, but it's worth repeating. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run low by 2034. That doesn't mean benefits disappear, but it does mean cuts could be coming, unless Congress acts. And part of the reason there's this push to modernize systems and coordinate with the IRS is because the government is trying to find efficiencies wherever it can. So while this IRS-SSA partnership might sound like it's just about speeding up payments, it's also part of a larger strategy to keep Social Security running smoothly in the years ahead. And that's something every retiree, every worker, every taxpayer should be paying attention to. Because if you're counting on Social Security in retirement, or you're already collecting it, you need to know what changes are on the horizon. Not just with payments, but with the program as a whole. We're talking about potential benefit cuts, changes to the retirement age, adjustments to how benefits are calculated. All of that could be on the table in the coming years. And here's the thing. The more efficient these agencies become, the more money they can save. And that saved money could potentially be used to shore up the Social Security system. So in a way, this administrative change might actually help protect your benefits long term. It's all connected. But you've got to stay informed. You've got to know what's happening so you can plan accordingly. That's why I make these videos. That's why I break this stuff down for you every single week. Now let me tell you something else that's not getting enough attention. This move could also impact how quickly stimulus payments or emergency relief gets distributed in the future. Remember during the pandemic when some people got their checks right away and others waited months? Part of that delay was because the IRS and Social Security weren't fully coordinated. If this new system works the way it's supposed to, future emergency payments could roll out much faster. That matters. When people are struggling, when there's a crisis, speed is everything. Getting money into people's hands 2 weeks faster could mean the difference between keeping the lights on or not. So there's a humanitarian angle here too. It's not just about bureaucratic efficiency. It's about making sure help reaches people when they need it most. And if this administrative change accomplishes that, then it's worth paying attention to. But again, it all depends on execution. Good intentions don't always translate to good results. We'll have to watch how this plays out over the next several months. All right, let's recap everything we just covered. The Social Security Administration's chief may be taking on responsibilities tied to IRS payment systems. The goal? Faster refunds, better coordination, fewer headaches for you. But there are concerns about whether this will actually work or if it'll just create more problems. There are privacy questions, accountability questions, and questions about whether these already overwhelmed agencies can handle more changes. We're watching this closely, and I'll keep you posted as more details come out. This is developing news, and things could shift quickly. So here's my second question for you. Have you had issues with IRS refunds or Social Security payments in the past? What was your experience? Did you get your money on time, or did you have to fight for it? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Your experiences help other people understand what's really going on out there. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who need this information. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next update. And if you know someone who's dealing with Social Security or tax confusion, share this video with them. Help me spread the word. Coming up next, I'm going to break down the latest COLA rumors and whether we might see another adjustment sooner than expected. There's some chatter about emergency increases, and I want to separate fact from fiction for you. You're not going to want to miss that. Until then, take care of yourself, stay informed, stay smart with your money, and I'll see you in the next one.